So I just watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and for Spider-Man No Way Home, I've been hearing really good things about it, like 95% Rotten Tomatoes. This is a major spoiler alert, so be warned. So we actually started watching this movie at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. So this is the first time I have seen any of these villains on the big screen. And I've seen the other movies I've never seen on big screen, so I got super hyped about it. It was probably my first anticipated movie of the year other than Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Until seeing it, I could tell that it was really overrated when I saw it. Not really overrated, but pretty overrated. The beginning started off zooming through it and didn't seem like it had lots of trouble getting into college. He seemed like he had lots of getting into college and people knowing he was Spider-Man, and that's the movie starts off with that and just kind of rushes through that, and which causes Spider-Man to cast a spell, which Peter, I'm sure you know this, as Peter is an idiot and traces the ball 5 times, and it's pretty funny. I do love the comedy, not extremely funny, but still funny. Um, and the funniness doesn't take over the movie because in the end fights, it gets really dark and gets lots of death, and MJ almost dies. It gets serious quick, but it's funny. I still think this movie is overrated, so I will start by saying I think it's the worst Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, but it's not bad. With Spider-Man, it was good, but just not nothing to someone, not nothing compared to Geico commercials. And I would like to buy a 3-foot Geico lizard. I mean, I'm probably not gonna buy one, but that'd be pretty cool, and hide it in some of my videos. Um, not this one, no. So when Peter got there, these villains wanted to send him. He wanted to send all these villains back. Then Aunt May met Green Goblin, and he was not that bad. This is after the bridge fight, and gave Peter advice to, oh no, save the villains and jack up half the universe. So I somewhat disliked the movie because at least 3 times Peter changed his mind to send them back to the universe, to their universe, and until Tobey Maguire and Andrew gets there. Um, and yes, they do, and not just a little cameo. I might have thought they were just gonna be a little cameo. And if you haven't already seen from the idiots on YouTube snapping photos in the theaters, or uh, so they make a serum at the end, and eventually they're gonna send them back, but they're gonna make a serum, and it's cool, I guess. But Toby Toby does a thing. There is the first thing where people will clap a bunch and cheer. One person, when Toby appeared, one person jumped up and kicked a chair. And so the first clap teaser you get is a quick bit in the beginning with Daredevil, let's go, and then you get to the bridge fights, and no one really clapped for Doc Ock because we already got him in the trailers and could like piece together the whole entire fight because of how much clips and leaked set photos we got. But Green Goblin, we haven't seen very much of Green Goblin. Let's just say he's not in the bridge fight for more than 30 seconds. You can clap for Electro when he shows up, and then absolutely go nuts when Tobey Maguire walks through that portal. And then when Toby, Andrew, and Tom Holland jump off the Statue of Liberty, just them swinging around together in different costumes. That was just amazing. Uh, it was the same place that we saw the leaks of Andrew Garfield months ago, when he was like speaking. Then you can clap when Spider-Man ends the movie swinging through, being friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and the last end credits when Eddie Brock shows up, you get a little clap. And I'm kind of upset about the end credits. I will explain that later. I really didn't like the end kind of gave up kind of Spider-Man's good, I guess. Even though it was epic, it was a better movie. I didn't I didn't like it as good. I just knew it was a better movie. And I will tell you my opinions on some of the fights. First, the bridge fight, obviously. By the trailers, it seemed like we could get a whole 2 hour movie on the bridge fight, but it was actual fight, and it was great. It was funny. It had epic fights, and he was saving people, and Doc Ock was the best villain in my opinion in the whole entire movie. Then to the hotel. So Aunt May's death fight um, was it was when Aunt May died. I really got upset with this one because on this one the Green Goblin had been friends with Aunt May, and we thought he was good. And then second Aunt May dies. I mean, this death was really bad. It was really sad. I mean, led to one of the only really sad moments in the movie, and that's when Peter Parker got really angry and led to the end fight with which I will talk about. The only good part about the hotel fight was when Doc Ock changed to good and everything else was junk. Now to the end fight. With all three of your friendly Spider-Mans, this fight was easily one of my favorite Spider-Man fights of Tom Holland's universe. So I love Tom Holland, but Toby and them made it so much better. And they make jokes and they are cool and make serums. And that's part of the reason I dislike this movie, because they're like switching back and forth with what she do, and then finally Tobey Maguire and Andrew show up and they just make serums. And I swear I thought MJ was gonna die when Tom Holland got hit by that Goblin glider, but Andrew caught her, and wow, it was suspense. Now we'll cover everyone in this movie, even Happy and Strange. First MJ, I guess. Nothing really much to talk about. Like I'm glad MJ did not die. If she did die, that would be pretty bad, pretty sad, because two people in the deaths of this movie is too much, I think. If you haven't heard already, good old Kevin Feige already confirmed Spider-Man 4 like Tom Holland, and I wonder how Peter will handle not having MJ or Ned, because at the end he eventually does cast a spell where everyone forgets. Doctor Strange doesn't know him or anyone knowing him, and it kind of seems like it was kind of sweet goodness when Peter sees MJ and Ned talking in the coffee shop about they just got the college application, and Peter having nothing to do with them and just smiling, ordering a cup of coffee, and MJ doesn't even know him, and he just knew them for 3 movies. And then he put on the original suit. It was a little tweaked up, I just realized, but definitely interested for Spider-Man 4. So I guess that there was something to talk about. Now for Ned, he had Doctor Strange powers. Now I don't really know, maybe he's in Doctor Strange too, but he forgot everything. Maybe even knows his own powers. So probably not. Ned was really funny, and I really liked Ned a lot. Now to Happy. He was happy. He was the character Happy. He was cool in some ways. Like he had the apartment, and which Tom Holland used and Peter to fix up all the villains when he was on the side of saving them. And when he was there at the apartment where Aunt May dies, and then at the end of the movie, Peter Parker and Peter Parker meets Happy at Aunt May's grave, and even in not knowing him. Now for Aunt May, I didn't know Aunt May. I don't know. Aunt May had a really sad death, but kind of was upsetting me. Aunt May was kind of persuasive. Like she persuaded Peter to fight Strange and save the villains who all except Doctor Strange, who all except Doc Ock turn against him. Like all the villains except Doctor Octopus. Now for Doctor Strange. He was hilarious and actually had sense to take the villains back to their universe. But Spider-Man, I think, said no, and Doctor Strange had a big part of this movie, and they had a big fight, and they had a trailer for his own movie at the end. This movie, which I think I will eventually talk about. Now I will talk about Daredevil. I really was pumped when I saw him for 2 minutes, and when he caught a brick out of the window, even though he is blind. Wow, just one thing I was disappointed about, not getting him and Spider-Man to just fight some thugs. They don't have to be supervillains, just a little robbers, him and Spider-Man just fighting. I mean, I guess I'm being a little selfish. So, Now I'll talk about Tom Holland. Um, Spider-Man. This movie, he's funny, and this is his movie, and you wouldn't think that Tom Holland is like the angry, big fighting guy that would just be really tough, like Tobey Maguire. But the end fight between Green Goblin and Spider-Man, you can practically feel the punches he throws at Green Goblin. He's about to give him what he deserves and stab him, but he doesn't, which I was pretty sad about. But then it turns out that Toby blocks his shot, and then Green Goblin stabs Toby in the back, which almost caused him to die. He was gonna give him a dose of his own medicine, like what he did in Spider-Man 3 when Green Goblin died in the original. Um, Now for Andrew Garfield character, he made me laugh in the end fights, and when he's first introduced, and he has to get the spider off of Ned's grandma's ceiling, and when he says "Hey Max," it makes me appreciate him even more, even though he's my least favorite Spider-Man. Just hearing Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland talk together and crack jokes, and Andrew Garfield cracking Tobey Maguire's back. Wow! Now for Tobey Maguire, he was the biggest cheer from the audience. He did look kind of cheesy when he walked through that portal universe, but still a 5-star performance. One more thing before I talk about the villains. So I like the Daredevil show sort of, and I'm interested in how this could set up a new movie or a new show. Personally, I would want another movie because I thought I was a pretty big fan of the original movie. I haven't watched the full thing though. The first villain I will talk about is Doctor Octopus. He had really good fights, not as good as Spider-Man 2 on the train fights, but still phenomenal. And I knew this from the beginning that he was going to be good, but you can pretty much have to watch Spider-Man 2 to understand what he means by "what do you do with my machine?" Because Dr. Octopus drowns in the river in the original Spider-Man 2. So he was my favorite villain out of the movie. Now Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I got really frustrated with this guy. I mean, he is an iconic character and cool, but he really gets on you hating him. I mean, he is a supervillain, but I mean, so he also doesn't hold back, and his smile and laugh, even when he's about to die, he's smiling, almost like the Joker. But Marvel hasn't got to that level yet. Now I will talk about the Lizard. Yes, I am going to do. I'm going to do it in order that they showed the villains in the movie. So the Lizard was not showed enough in this movie, but I mean it worked for me. They had to make a runtime under 3 hours, and the Lizard had the same voice actor in the Amazing Spider-Man. And personally, I thought that the Lizard had a lousy performance compared to the Amazing Spider-Man. Like he was a lot funnier. Like in the school fight when he lost his tail, and they have the Stan Lee cameo. Next up, we have Sandman. Sandman started to be good. He helped by fighting off Electro. That I knew he wasn't going to be in the end because in the trailer it showed that he's bad. But he goes off strong and has a decent performance. One thing I have to mention is that they didn't talk about his backstory with Sandman's daughter that much. Now to Electro. I really expected more out of Electro. He never really fully trusts Spider-Man and turned when Goblin did, and Spider-Man got I got a big script here. Got the arc reactor that we saw a while ago from Happy's apartment and gave it to Electro, and Spider-Man trusted the villains and fixed them up. I feel that Electro didn't get enough time to shine, but oh well. Some other things I want to mention is that they really did not have a Sinister Six. I mean, yeah, then the post end credits had Venom, but I really did swear I wanted there to be a Sinister Six. And I thought there was going to be a Sinister Six, and Tom Holland almost leaked that there was like, where is, and then he stopped his in the middle of a sentence. Well, apparently there's not. Going on to Jimmy Fallon Live, Michael Keaton said that he was working on Spider-Man stuff, so he met Morbius. And Morbius, I am so interested because they have Oscorp from Venom. He even said, "I'm Venom" or whatever. He had a reference that was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man graffiti. There was posters on the train about him, and uh, Michael Keaton's Vulture. So I'm really interested what Morbius is going to do to the Spider-Man and Marvel universe and what's going on with Morbius. And that comes out in January. Pretty worried because January movies always are pretty bad. Also, with Jimmy Fallon live, Andrew Garfield lied straight to our faces when he said sketchy stuff about the leaked set photo being Photoshop. Now we'll talk about the post-end credits with Venom. In the end, Venom let there be carnage. We got teased Spider-Man, and we were like, yes, Venom's in the MCU. The third Venom will be Venom versus Spider-Man. And we were all happy, but in the post-end credits, we see Eddie Brock disappear like all the other villains, meaning that Venom is from another universe. And that was pretty crap. And then we see that he leaves behind a drop of serum, and that will probably become the Venom like we get from Spider-Man 3. And also, before I talk about Spider-Man, before I talk about the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, I have to mention that people are going nuts with hashtag Amazing Spider-Man 3, make Amazing Spider-Man 3 on Instagram and Snapchat and all that, and TikTok. And I think they will, because they probably include Andrew Garfield and Morbius, because I'm still interested in what Morbius is going to wrap up. Now for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer. So, like a month ago, we saw a Lego set showing Doctor Strange 2 and a giant eyeball monster. We all thought that Baron Mordo, or however you say it, from the original was going to be the antagonist of Doctor Strange 2. He might have something to do with the eyeballs, but we saw Wanda and her, and to understand the trailer, you will have to see the crappy animated show What If. I skipped What If, and lots of other Marvel fans did. So you might have to watch it. So I might have to watch that. So I'm glad that I finally got to see this movie. So I will give the action 4.5 stars. So close to 5. Lots of action, especially between Doc Ock and Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man. So comedy 3.5. Almost 4. Good humor, especially Ned and Doctor Strange. Nearly everybody probably though was funny. Probably the funniest part of the movie was when Doctor Strange and Peter were talking about how after he messed up the spell, and he's like, "You didn't even call them to see if they could have gave you an application. She's on the road right now or whatever." You all have to see. You should really see this movie if you haven't already. For horror, 0.5 star. I mean, why are you watching this if you haven't seen the movie? It's just kind of ruining it. 0.5 star because 0.5 star maybe because of the lizard and the Green Goblin. I'll give it an A, close to an A plus, but it was it gets a lot. It has to get a lot to have an A plus. Not the best Marvel movie like the dumb advertisement said, and not quite the best movie of the year. So I will be doing a ranking of that soon, and rankings of the Spider-Man movies. You 100% should watch this in theaters. Bye.